Well, that wasn't good for Wisconsin. Maryland thoroughly kicked Wisconsin's ass in that second half. Yeah, there's not much more to say other than Maryland just wore them out. They broke them down by the end of the game. Like Wisconsin came in, you can see right off the bat, they came in really locked in. They were focused. They were firing on all cylinders, and they were actually playing some solid defense. Maryland was just making a lot of tough shots to start the game, and Wisconsin was making a lot of tough shots. Then at about the 13-14 minute mark of the first half, the bench came in, and then Wisconsin completely lost their offensive rhythm. And granted, Maryland went on a drought too, but obviously Maryland found that rhythm again, and Wisconsin never found that rhythm. Once again, we see that Wisconsin's depth is amongst, if not the worst in the Big Ten. If one starter goes out for Wisconsin, they go from, in my opinion, they go from a pretty solid team based off what we saw before the Minnesota game when Wall got hurt. They looked pretty darn good. But then if anybody gets banged up, from Wall to Klesmit, Wisconsin just goes from a solid team to a bad team because they just it was tough to watch. If you're a Wisconsin fan, that was some of the worst basketball you've seen since the 17-18 season, where Wisconsin didn't even make the NIT. So yeah, that rough sledding for the Badgers. Should we press the panic button, on the season? Close, but not yet. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. Pardon me. There's a lot of basketball left to be played. Wisconsin can turn it around. We've seen Wisconsin in years past, like that 13-14 season. Wisconsin went on a similar losing streak. It was a little later in the year, and then they ended up making a Final Four. I'm not saying this team's going to make a Final Four. My point is there's a lot of basketball left to be played, so I don't think you need to completely give up on this team. Let's see what happens when they get Klesmit back, because they have a good starting lineup. It's just the bench production. It's just not there. And we've just seen that if one person's out, it's a bad team. So it'll be interesting. Time will tell, but I don't think you can give up just yet. And for Maryland, on the other hand, super impressed by them. Their physical, aggressive defense. Young stood out to me tonight. Obviously, he had 22 points, 8 boards, 5 assists. He was phenomenal. He's a heck of an athlete. That dunk right off the bat was pretty impressive. And then he had another dunk later in the game, I believe. And then Scott, he had 14 and 11, and he's had some success against Wisconsin over the years, that's for sure. The lone bright spot was Essegian for Wisconsin. He shot 4 of 6 from 3 at 19 points. Wall had 13 and Crowell had 11 on an efficient 4 of 7 from the field, but really Connor was the only bright spot. And going forward, I think you got to let the man cook. Like, give him a green light and just let him do his thing. The kid is super talented. He's as talented of a freshman I've seen at Wisconsin in a long time. There is a lot of Tyler Hero in this game. So I just say, I'm not saying he's Tyler Hero. I think Tyler was much further along at this age, but I see some flashes of him. So just let him loose. Continue to start him. Get Klesmit back. Get healthy if you're the Badgers, and see what happens. So that's all I got for you. Great game by Maryland. Terrible game by Wisconsin. But this is your first time watching a video of mine, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more college basketball content, and thank you very much for making it to the end of the video.